You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about this NFL collusion situation. One of the key figures in all of this was Russell Wilson. Now, over on Black and White Sports 2, we covered way many months before Sean Payton became the Broncos quarterback. We knew he was going to, it was a terrible secret across the league. People knew Sean Payton is going to the Denver Broncos. All right. And part of that was, Colin Cowherd was calling it, and him and Sean Payton are real tight, and they worked together at the time on Fox Sports. And he kept saying Sean Payton would be a perfect coach for the Denver Broncos. And you're thinking, okay. And then after a while, the rumors started, yada, 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 and you knew, okay, that's where Sean Payton's going to end up going. So he was brought in to see if they could fix or salvage Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson had a better year, but he couldn't run that timing and rhythm offense that Sean Payton runs. Sean Payton wanted a Drew Brees, very systematic, very analytical, throw to the open guy, and be able to do it systematically. Didn't want to have to worry about trying to roll out to get around offensive linemen, blah, blah, blah. Drew Brees knew how to run that offense, and Bo Nix knows how to run that offense, and he was a perfect choice. Now, what got lost in the shuffle was the fact that Russell Wilson, and we're finding this out, Russell Wilson was promised a fully guaranteed contract by the Denver Broncos at the time of that trade. All right? He was supposed to, can you imagine? It was already, look, one could argue, one can't even argue. DESHAUN Watson is the worst sign and trade of all time, obviously, and that's where all this started. Russell Wilson was the second one that was the worst because he got a huge contract. He was so bad, Sean Payton didn't think twice about them eating the money and cut him anyway. And boy, you found out there was some Russell Wilson truthers out there. Sean Payton was being called a racist and all kinds of things because Russell couldn't run his damn offensive system. So this is wild. Florio put this out this morning. And it is some things that Russell Wilson actually testified to in this collusion case. System arbitrator Christopher Droney had no choice but to find the NFL tried to get its teams to collude regarding guaranteed contracts, giving the black and white clarity of the evidence. Regarding whether teams followed the league's lead, Droney ignored the strong circumstantial evidence. Plenty of the evidence comes from negotiations between the Broncos and quarterback Russell Wilson. And remember, they wanted to bench him if he didn't change his contract. That was a whole bunch of drama during that season. Of course, he had his own office and something else. Under Nathaniel Hackett, he had lost the team. It was a nightmare. Wilson testified early in his discussions with the Broncos, he requested a 7-year fully guaranteed contract that would pay around $50 million a year. $350 million. Jesus. The Broncos said Wilson didn't blink. So the Broncos agreed to it. The Broncos said Wilson didn't blink. Quote, didn't blink. The trade that sent Wilson to Denver became official March 16, 2022. In the following days, something changed. Quote, I would say shortly after the trade, maybe within the next 10 days or so, they started getting cold feet on this fully guaranteed thing. Wilson testified in the hearing. So he's saying The Broncos agreed to it, and then they got scared and decided to try to back out of it. Ooh, looks like a smart move by the Broncos, by the way, to back out of that. Coincidentally or not, the NFL Management Council, with the blessing of the commissioner, encouraged the 32 NFL teams to reduce guarantees in veteran contracts at the March 2022 annual meeting. The encouragement happened on March 28th, only 12 days after the Wilson trade was announced. Wow. So the Broncos went to the, I guess, they started hearing this was going to be a thing at the owners' meeting, and that's why things started changing around the 10-day mark. So I guess it was around the 12-day mark. It's not a surprise that the Broncos backpedaled. The backpedaling continued through August when the team was sold to the Walton Penner Group. After the sale became final, a deal with Wilson was pursued. The Broncos, despite Wilson's testimony that the team, quote, didn't blink at the prospect of a fully guaranteed deal, took the position that fully guaranteed contracts like DESHAUN Watson, quote, was a non-starter. So the new ownership group came in and said, nope, let's not even talk about it. It's not happening. I mean, bravo. Bravo to the Denver Broncos ownership. They knew better. During the talks, Broncos owner Greg Penner told other members of the Denver ownership group that there's, quote, there's nothing in here that other owners will consider off market. Later, Penner told his partners that the GM, George Payton, quote, feels very good about it for the franchise and the benchmark it sets versus Watson for the rest of the league. Wow. Wow. These comments are as powerful as the smoking gun text exchange between Dean Spanos, the Chargers owner, and Michael Bidwill regarding Kyler Murray's contract. There are circumstantial evidence of the existence of an agreement among owners to hold down guarantees and of the desire by Penner and the Broncos to comply with it. Yeah, Florio is saying that, by the way, Penner was the CEO of Walmart. He has said, Florio has said that the arbitrator Droney blew this whole thing in his ruling because he found evidence of collusion and then didn't rule as such, which is weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think any of these players ought to get fully guaranteed contracts. I just don't. I said that the other day. I think there's too much risk involved with the nature of this particular sport. Hockey would probably be another one I would look at that way. You know, there's just the injuries, yada, yada, yada. And I still believe that owners, it's their show for their team. And I know Florio's having kittens because it's like, why are these other owners talking amongst each other? Because they're billionaires and they don't got that many people on their level to I mean, he's like, they're all separate businesses, technically. And I guess that's right. But it's also, I mean, it's an owner's, you know, I don't know. It is strange in that manner that, you know, Jerry Jones will sit down with Robert Kraft and they'll shoot the shit about the inner workings of their own team. It is strange, especially when you consider that somebody like Bill Belichick was like top secret on everything going on in the franchise. It's odd. It is weird. But look, obviously something's working right there because the NFL is just printing money. Ratings, media rights deals. I mean, every entity that is a media company is trying to get the NFL on its product. This is still a huge story, though. It really is. I mean, the Broncos promised Wilson a fully guaranteed contract and then backtracked after he already got there. No, we're good. It's hilarious, to be honest. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.